The supplies for the deputy will normally be located close to the entrance of the early voting site. You identify the 150-foot no solicitation boundary to the far left, far right, and directly in front of the early voting site. If there is an obstruction that does not allow you to measure out the 150 feet, such as a street or a gate, the campaigners must be on the other side of that obstruction. Use the no solicitation boundary sticker found inside of your Pendaflex to identify the 150-foot no solicitation boundary. Place the no campaigning stakes in places where the 150-foot no solicitation boundary ends on grass or dirt. If the ground is too hard to place the signs, use 2 cones to hold the signs. Fold the 150-foot rope in half to identify the 75-foot exit polling area. Place the sign away from where the line of voters entering the building will be queued. When you reach the end of the folded rope, place a small piece of tape so you will know where to put the sign for the next day. If your site has a large blue ADA bin, open the bin and locate a sheet of paper illustrating how to set up the site. Follow the image exactly and have the clerk verify that you have set up the site as directed from the instructions. Parking for patron signs are placed at the entrance of the early voting site parking lot. This sign is meant to prevent campaigners from occupying parking spots for voters and facility constituents. Orange A-frames should be placed on the walkway where voters will be entering the early voting site, with a calendar sign placed on it and copies of the early voting calendar for constituents to take. There will be a place to adjust an arrow guiding the voter to the entrance of the early voting site. Vote arrows should be placed on the ground directing voters to the entrance of the early voting site. Have another staff member play the role of the voter and see if they would be able to find the site using the signage that you've placed. Early voting signs are used to identify the early voting site outside of the building. They also guide voters to the early voting site inside the building. Place tape behind the signs nice and uniformly. Have another staff member guide you as you place signs on the walls to make sure they are not crooked. Do not place tape on the outside, making the setup look messy. The voting information poster is placed at the entrance of the early voting site to inform the voter of their rights and responsibilities.